Hello, one and all, is my view of Attack on Titan, the final season, episode 5, Declaration of War, and... oh, I just knew it. I knew before this episode aired, I knew before the season even began, this was something I needed to do a video on, simply because this was my favorite scene in the entire manga, maybe in any manga, as Willy declares war only for Eren to pop up right freaking behind him. Oh, I love it, though for very different reasons than I loved it in the manga, but don't worry, no manga spoilers, I promise. I mean, Willy, he declares war on Eren, so obviously he's the villain, obviously he's the bad guy, and he deserves to suffer for it, but after watching the anime, I kinda liked Willy. I mean, for one thing, he is one heck of a showman. This performance he put on, the actors, the costumes, the makeup, all of it, the freaking shadow puppets. Oh, it looked amazing. I would love an OVA just of him putting this together, just of him doing rehearsal with the actors. Oh, that would have been amazing. That would have been freaking amazing. I'd love to see that. Also do love in that one scene, you can see the actresses actually covering themselves in fake blood. That was hilarious. And what's more, it actually freaking worked. He basically revealed to everybody that Hilo, the legendary hero, the god among them, the one that saved them all from Marley, yeah, he's not real. The entire story they've been led to believe is nothing but a bunch of lies. And yet, by the end of the speech, people were applauding. They were crying tears of joy. They believed in him. They loved him. They listened to his every word. God dang, Willy, you are impressive. I mean, seriously, that's basically the equivalent of the President of the United States coming out and saying, yeah, the Founding Fathers, they weren't real. They were just actors that the King of Britain hired. He's really the one that made America its own separate country and all that. And yet still getting applauded for it. Oh, I freaking love it. I freaking love it. And I actually kind of agree with Willy. I mean, just a little bit. I mean, yes, he is targeting Eren, but his motives do seem to be in the right place, He's basically saying, yeah, the Eldians aren't really to blame. The people in Paradise Island, they aren't to blame. They don't really know anything about this. Really, our only target, the only bad guy we really have to deal with is Eren. He's the big bad. He's the evil devil. He's the one that could end up destroying the entire freaking world. I mean, setting up basically for a post-war period where the Eldians are looked on much more favorably, and perhaps even, the island devils won't even be all murdered. I mean, sure, a lot of them are probably going to be killed when all the armies of the world basically converge on Paradise Island to kill Eren, but the survivors will be treated probably just as well as any of the other Eldians, so yay? I mean, his plan definitely isn't perfect, the whole we need a common enemy to unite us kind of thing. I mean, that's basically what we've been seeing for the last 3 seasons on Paradise Island, They're all united to take down the Titan threats, but even then, there's corruption, there's greed, there's infighting, there's all that fun stuff. So, yeah, his plan might work, it might be successful if he actually managed to unite the world's armies and attack Paradise Island, killed Eren, and then basically declared world peace, more or less, managed to, basically improve the image of the Eldians for everyone, but definitely some problems with that plan. But the main thing I want to talk about, the main reason I'm making this video, is Eren and Reiner. They are basically the same person. They've basically made the same choices and gone through the same life experiences. I mean, they both grew up surrounded by walls, wanting to escape, wanting to have the freedom to go into the outside world, and wanting to kill the people they believed were preventing them from doing that. For Eren, it was the Titans, these giant colossal monsters right outside the walls of a city that would eat him if he took one step outside. For Reiner, it was those island devils, those monsters who escaped all by themselves. Mwah! And they both came to realize that their enemies were not actually their enemies. They were not actually the ones keeping them from living that happy life. For Eren, he realized Titans were actually just people, his fellow Eldians, who were being, tortured and transformed by the Marleyans, the true devils of the world. But even then, it's not quite that simple, because the rest of the world, also hates the Eldians. So Eren's enemy is basically the entire freaking world. Yeah, that sucks. For Reiner, he actually got to the island, he actually got to meet and explore and talk with the people, and realized, hey, these people don't actually seem all that evil to me. What's going on? And we saw that just a few episodes ago when Reiner was talking about the evil devils over dinner, how the one girl stole a potato and then offered to give half back, but there wasn't even half left to give. How monstrous. And even Gabby had a comment that they don't actually sound like evil people all that much. Which brings us to Eren's decision in this episode. Even after Reiner realized they were not devils, they were not monsters, he ate with them, he lived with them, he talked with them, he got to know them, he still decided to attack the walls again. He still decided to make a second attack on the walls and kill so many of them, kill so many of the soldiers that he had trained with. And now Eren is basically doing the same thing. He's lived in Marley. He's walked among the Marleyans, the Eldians who live there. He's realized, no, some of these people are actually really nice. Yeah, there are some jerks. People like Falco over there, who I have royally screwed over, are just genuinely nice people. And, they're not monsters. They're not the devils I thought they would be. And yet he still makes the same decision that Reiner did all those years ago. He still decides to attack. He still decides to become the very monster, the very menace, the very nightmare that they induced upon him. Oh, I freaking love it. I just freaking love it. On that day, the Eldians and Marleyans and the people from all around the world get a very grim reminder that their world was a cage. Oh my god, imagine, seriously, if someone told you after watching the very first episode of Attack on Titan, yeah, in about 4 seasons, Eren's gonna become a Titan, and he's gonna do this exact same thing to other people. You would not have believed it. You would not have understood. You would not have imagined such a thing was even possible. But here we are, and it makes a lot of sense for Eren after coming this far, after all that's happened. He realizes, the rest of the world is still a threat. The rest of the world will still come after us. They still will attack us. We're not safe, even if we kill all the Titans on Paradise Island, because across the sea, they are the real threats. And I just freaking love this start of this episode when Eren shows his cut hand and points above and says, basically, if I transform, I will kill all of them. It does not feel like a real threat. It does not feel like something that Eren would actually do, that Eren could actually do. It doesn't seem real that he could become the very monster that has haunted his nightmares, that he's wanted to get revenge on for all these years, and yet it freaking happens. Oh, I loved it. I freaking loved it. And overall, it really did feel like Eren's reason for doing this, the reason he did all of this was for the sake of Reiner, to forgive him in a certain sense, to let him know it's okay, to let him know, this is what happens in war. People die, even innocent civilians. Almost as if he was hoping, that someone, some way, somehow would be able to forgive him, forgive Eren for what he was about to do, for the people, the innocents that he was about to kill. Because, yeah, Eren definitely killed basically everyone in the building above him, and Willy is not looking all that great right now. Though I just want to point out this one thing. I know the scene was super serious as everyone was dying, but as everyone was staring up at Eren as transformed, one guy in the background got hit by debris. Everyone just kind of just staring, and the one guy in the background gets smashed in the head and just kind of falls down. I just found that to be so utterly hilarious. A few other things I want to say about this episode. We finally met Annie's dad, and oh god. He is definitely her father. That same gruff attitude, that same just stubbornness, that same silent stoicism. Oh, I freaking loved it. I freaking loved him. And I do just have to say, poor Falco here. I mean, seriously. He really liked Eren. He thought of him as a friend, someone who's supporting him, someone who's actually nice to him, someone who's willing to listen to him. And I do feel like it takes him just a little bit too long to come to the realization to figure out, oh, I have royally forked up here. I mean, even when he realizes, wait a minute, 4 years ago, that's when Reiner would have still been on Paradise Island. That would have to mean, oh. It takes me another couple minutes to realize, wait a minute. Who exactly was I sending those letters to? Oh my god, what have I done? Oh, and the look on Reiner's face that moment he realizes that Eren is not alone, that Eren has people backing him up here. Oh, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I also do just love that Reiner is basically please, Eren, for the love of all that is good in this holiness world, just kill me. Please, kill me. You promised, remember? You said all those years ago you'd make me suffer a horrible, awful death. Please, just do it. Just let me have some absolution. Let me just face judgment so I can let go, so I don't have to feel this pain anymore. And Eren's like, did I say that? Yeah, that does kind of sound like something I would say. Reiner wanted to die. Reiner wanted to face judgment for what he did, but instead Eren forgave him, or at the very least gave him understanding. He acknowledged, yeah, it's because of you, because of the actions you did, that my mother died, but that's war. People die. Innocents die. I'm about to kill a whole bunch of innocents, so, we're basically the same that way. Actually, that might be worse. That might actually be much, much worse, as, Reiner's forced to experience exactly what Eren did. Well, something similar to what Eren did. The people around him are about to die, killed by a giant titan. Just like, when he was a giant titan, he killed a bunch of people that Eren probably knew. Oh, I love this episode. I just truly, truly love this episode. But please, let me know all down below. Did I miss anything? Was there any particular scene in this episode that you really liked? What are your guesses for next episode and just moving forward in this series? What do you think in comparison between Eren and Reiner? Like I said, they have lived essentially the same lives, and Reiner's just a step ahead until this point. Now Eren's done exactly what he's done, even though he knew the truth, even though he's realized that the people around him are not actually his enemies. They aren't these devils that he built them up to be. He still has to kill them. He still has to fight against them. I just really like that. I just really love that symmetry. But until next time, peace!